press.
Definitely enough to do it.
Mango wins SmashCon 2022. Oh my God, from winner's side.
They said it was a slump. They said Mango had fallen down, but they forgot the first commandment. Thou shalt not sleep on the kid.
Here we are, bottom of the Smash Mountain. I would like to thank all my patron supporters over at patreon.com/bsmpod for continuing to support me and what I'm doing. Big special shout outs to my senior producers. We got my mom and dad, Ventus Official, and PK Smokey. It's a big thanks to the Eternal Project as well with all that. Thank you all so much. And it's been a while. It has been since the season 1 finale of this podcast since I've had Turned Down for Walt on. And since then, Walt has only gone to exceed 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. Let's go. Become the project lead, the producer, big shot over at Panda. Hence, Panda Turned Down for Walt. Let's go, Walt. And in general, succeeding in life. Oh, wait, sorry. This is my favorite bit right now. The bit where you and Vish killed it at SmashCon 2022 for top 4 commentary. Your first top 4 commentary. And Walt, I listened back to our podcast together that happened over a year ago, and I said so many things that were complimentary about you. I should have snuck in a mean one because I kept saying to myself, listening to me talking, just insult him one time. You're inflating his ego too many times. So I will sneak one in this time. But Walt, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, that's dangerous, man. Thank you as well. Also, shout outs to Matt, man, for being the senior producer on the show. That's awesome. I love him. But yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's been, oh gosh, when did we do that episode? This season 1. What season are you on now?
Season 4. Got season 4
Holy
now.
Crap. Yeah, so it's been probably like a year or two. Since I've been on this, maybe?
I want to say it's been a year plus. I didn't even look at the date. I'm sure it's April-ish of 2021, so it's been more than a year. But I'm active in your Discord server because who doesn't love saying Morbin or Darwin or Mornin? It's a great time to be on Turn Down for Walt Discord. Shout outs to Smorehead and and Jonesy, who I got to meet at Pound. That was super cool. Shout outs
you did?
Yes, indeed.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yes, yeah, I did send a picture to the server, to the general chat. It was really cool to meet up with Jonesy at Pound.
Yeah, I actually went to college with him, so he's a pretty close friend of mine. So that's really cool that he got to make it out to that.
And it would have been a tough turnaround for you because you were only at Genesis 8 the weekend before. So that's the big challenge of going to all these tournaments, Walt, this year.
Yes.
You've been to a lot of the big ones.
In particular, I was actually doing a half marathon that weekend. So that's why I couldn't go, because I had signed up and paid a lot of money to kill myself in a run.
Wait, so they make you pay money to do that?
Yeah, it was expensive. It was more expensive than registering for a major, like late.
Wow.
So I think it was probably like 120.
Yeah.
Or something like that to run.
Yeah. What's the venue fee for a 13-mile course? I'm kidding.
But yeah, but that caught me up a little bit, but it was cool to kind of like see some of the homies out there. Unfortunately, couldn't make it out, but
I'm really just giving you a little bit of what for, because again, you were at Genesis 8. Of course, you were most recently at SmashCon, but you've also been even to Canada. You've been up at Battle of BC4, and if I recall correctly, Gommel, like you are out here, Walt. So let's not make this a whole thing about how you missed one event this year. I'm the one who
first and second trips to Canada, by the way, too.
Yes.
So that was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm actually interested in hearing about some of that stuff, but where to start first? Part of the thing here, those of you who listen to this podcast regularly, there's a little behind the scenes. We're going to be doing specific stuff for Deer's Gallant Melee Open content night a little bit later on in the program, if you will. So I want to save the Canada talk for then because it follows the theme with GMO. I will first ask you about SmashCon, since that is the hot topic. It happened just this past weekend. I love hearing about a first time sort of a thing in the Melee community, just because you won't ever get to top 4 commentate for the first time. You'll get to top 4 commentate for the first time with another co-commentator, probably, of course. I anticipate and hope for you to hop back on a top 4 at a big event like SmashCon in the future, or in the very near future. But you got to do that with Vish, who many, including Edwin with Monday Morning Marth, says is one of the best, or the best commentator of 2022 so far this year, in terms of Melee commentary, of course. And you got to do that with Vish, but you also, you're putting yourself out there to the 70,000 peak concurrent viewers, and just screaming into the mic with the most amazing line. The listeners of the podcast heard it earlier to start off the podcast, "Thou shalt not sleep on the kid." Just tell me what it was like doing that all for the first time.
So I was told by production that it was actually 90,000 peak viewership.
Let's go.
Melee,
That's even better.
Which is way better. So that's super exciting, because when I stepped off to let Vish interview with Mango after the event concluded, production, Gimmer, and then Justin, who was the guy who basically SmashCon is kind of his baby, as I understand it. He was like, "Hey man, like when you go back on there, let them know this is the most watched Melee tournament of the year so far. We hit 90,000 concurrent." I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. But yeah, I mean, SmashCon was just like such a dream, man. It was really, really fun. I was in a very weird mental state, I think, going into it. But the fact that I was paired up with Vish specifically for top 4, I think gave me a lot of ease, like peace of mind. And, like, don't get me wrong, I love Radar, and I really want to do more big blocks with Radar. But there's something about Vish, man, that just makes me feel very comfortable and feel very kind of like ready to do this kind of stuff too. I think I've had that with Radar for a while now. So just kind of like experiencing that with a new person, or a rather new person. I've done several blocks outside of top 8s with Vish before, whether it's offline or online. But Vish is just like a super encouraging guy. He's very easy to work with. And it really helped kind of like ease my experience in to doing a top 4, because right before we started, I was sitting there and I was doing like deep breathing exercises. I was like, I'm a highly anxious person, so I'm sitting there like, holy fuck, like just really nervous the whole time. And Vish is just like someone who's very easy to kind of like encourage you and like make you feel good and things like that. He actually gave me a lot of really kind of like powerful words, and this is kind of like more on a deep emotional level than just like, holy shit, SmashCon was awesome. But I remember it was after Battle of BC, and I know we'll get into that a little bit more, but I was feeling not really great, honestly, after that top 8. It might have been after Gommel as well, because he was at both and he completed top 4 for both of those events. But I remember I had talked to him and I was like, yeah, I'm like not feeling super good, because it was kind of like our intro into the big leagues almost for this. And there's always going to be a level of kind of animosity, I think, or maybe resistance to kind of like the new guys that come into it. So it's pretty hard for some people from like a mental standpoint. And I can tell you straight up, as vulnerable as I can be, I don't handle it well. So when it first kind of came up, yeah, there was a lot of praise, and it was like 99% very good. Hey, you did a great job. This was awesome. Oh my God, you really like elevated a lot of these sets and made it so enjoyable to watch. And I love that. But that 1% that comes through, whether it's on, social media or Reddit or Twitch chat or whatever it might be, that's the part that really sticks for a long time. And learning to shake that feeling is not an easy task, and it's not a simple mental barrier to jump over. So talking with Vish is someone who's like really good at dealing with that, and it's so impressive, and I'm so envious of his ability to be able to kind of like take the good with the bad and like parse out, this is bad, but it's not relevant to me, so it's like I don't really care. And like really take the good and reinforce that positively into like your mental state. So huge shout outs to him. I remember after one of those blocks in Canada, I had talked to him and I was just like not feeling good, and he's just like, listen, man, you know, like I wear these bracelets that say helpful and true on my wrist, and I use them as kind of like references to get me through tough times like this, to realize like if something bad is being like kind of said to me or one of my friends or whatever else, whether it's in commentary or just in life or whatever, I kind of ask myself, is this helpful or is this true? And if the answer is no to either of them, you know, you kind of just like wipe the slate clean and move on. um and I told them actually at SmashCon that that was incredibly powerful to me, and I kind of sat on that for a really long time, and I talked about it with my therapist too, because I was like, this guy is so fucking cool that he like basically changed my entire mental state, and like for the better. And it made me kind of realize like, yeah, the people who are important are saying good things and giving praise, and the people who aren't as important or maybe are just being toxic just because it's fun for them, or just do it, it's just that they just want to do it because it's fun for them and because they want to be mean, and that's it, it's whatever. um so bringing that all back into SmashCon, I think I came in with like a bit of a better mental. The anxiety is something that's always going to be there, but it's something that you can kind of like work out over time, especially as you get more comfortable with this sort of thing. But of course, like going into it, I'm like, holy shit, this is, you know, the peak of the tournament, and it's going to be watched by a lot of people. It's going to be criticized and ridiculed by a lot of people, sure. But the biggest improvement that I did make was that I didn't open Twitch chat a single time
All
during my
right.
block. So I already said that was a mental win for that block. But once the mic started going, and then me and Vish kind of got into a good rhythm, it was easy, man. And it was a combination of Vish just being incredibly easy to work with, like I said before, and also kind of getting into the comfort zone and getting, you know, familiar with, hey, I've been here before and I've done this stuff, and I know what I'm doing, and I'm confident that I can deliver something and deliver a moment in a way that maybe other people can't, or at least do it in a unique enough way where people will remember that and say like, hey, that was really cool the way that Walton Vish did that commentary, and you know, I hope they do it again in the future. So I had a blast. I love SmashCon just like from a, you know, ambiance perspective. um I have some critiques for the event itself, but I mean, in terms of my overall experience there as a commentator, it was great. I loved it.
What was your favorite non-melee part of SmashCon, be it the 64 combo contest or maybe perhaps top 8 for Ultimate, whatever whatever it may be, a non-melee thing that was a favorite of yours at SmashCon?
I didn't get to see the confetti, but I heard about it, and I still think that's really funny because I when grand finals ended and Mango won, I wanted to throw in a quip about the confetti, but I was just so like zoned in, and I like had the line kind of like cocked and ready to go. So like, you know, grand finals ends, and then Fish is like, "Oh my god, Mango wins from grand finals. I don't believe it." And we're both standing up looking at each other, and I'm like indicating to him like, I have a line, like I'm ready to fucking use it. So he passes off to me. I do the you know, thou shalt not sleep on the kid. And then I'm thinking about it after the fact, and I'm like, damn, he didn't get confetti again. That's crazy. and I wanted to say, but like the moment was over at that point. So then once I'm like, we went to dinner after, and I had to drive home to New York that night. So I heard about the confetti thing from the stream, and I was just like, that is just some insanely cruel irony. And for any of your listeners who actually avidly follow Ultimate, I think it came off of a Sora win, which is like there's a Twitter account called Sora Stats, and since Sora came out, so it's been like what, 6 months or however long the character's been out, Sora Stats would tweet and say like, Sora's win rate at this tournament's top 8, and it would just say like 0 and 16 and like 0% win rate, and it would be like that for like event after event. So then after SmashCon ended, Sora Stats tweeted, and they were like, Sora's win rate like 1 game out of like 20 or something like that. Like just something crazy, because I think Meister beat a Steve, and that's what caused like the confetti to happen or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I just found it so funny. The I didn't get to see the Smash 64 combo contest, but I saw the aftermath of it. And it just looked really cool. The Smashies was actually really fun, and I liked it a lot. I got to participate in that also, which was really cool, just kind of as a volunteer, handing out awards and things like that. Dressed up in a nice jacket that I just got, so that was cool to kind of show that off on the stream. And I think that like things like that just really show that the community is very tight knit, and we're all just kind of homies, right? Like we organized an award ceremony that was like an hour and a half long show hosted by Coney. All of these like great talents there. You know, we had like TK, we had Last, we had a lot of people from the Ultimate community. Ajax was there, who I became pretty friendly with over the course of that show as well. And then on the Melee side, like Dark Genix, Hungrybox, of course, giving out his own award, which was really funny. But everyone just kind of like comes together in this cool way. And it shows like we don't really need funding from specific people. I'm not going to name names, although it'd be nice to have it, you know, and some things like that. But it shows that like we can put stuff together by ourselves and make something really great. And that was kind of cool and humbling to see that come to fruition.
So what I loved the most about SmashCon, other than the Melee brackets and Top 64 was super crazy. It was really fun to follow and be in the Melee Stats Discord in the chat going, how far is BBats versus Zane for 17th place, because BBats took game 1, and so everybody in the server's freaking out because who doesn't love Beast Bats, but especially the Melee Stats Discord. So we were all freaking out and then going, okay, Zane has now tied the series 1-1. Is anybody streaming this? Does anybody have a link? Please, somebody like film it with a camera on your phone. I don't care, just somebody film it. Like that's always the fun part about Top 64. But for SmashCon, that was crazy. But my favorite non-Melee related thing was definitely the 64 combo contest, because 64 is near and dear to my heart, and it was awesome to see an Isaiah run in top 8 of 64 singles.
Oh my God,
did not go all the way, unfortunately, this time, but finishing at 3rd, still not bad for Isaiah. Is still competing. That's I don't want to call that a miracle. How do I describe it? Isaiah really meant it in the documentary all those years ago when he said, I'll just keep playing 64 for the rest of my life until there's no one else to play. But the good news is that there's plenty of people still playing. So that warms my heart. And I get to see Isaiah play in 2022. How cool is that? Yeah. So that's that for SmashCon. My overall from the outside, because I didn't go. I wanted to, but I have committed to going to the big house, which I was so excited for the big house. I was so excited, dude. But I wanted to go to SmashCon, of course. But so my outside perspective was everyone for Mango's run all the way to grand finals, winner's side, pushing Hungrybox out on game 5 for winners finals, and doing the same thing again in grand finals. Everybody's just super happy, and this is a super awesome tournament, because I think people would have said the same thing about Wave Dash. Oh, best tournament of the year so far if J-Mook had been the one to win. It just didn't work out that way. But there is something special that goes through any venue where Mango happens to come out on top, and most Melee fans can't help it. Even if they're not Mango fans 24/7, you get swept up in it. So let's go, Mango.
Yeah, it's unreal, man. Like I think there is just kind of like an aura about him, and it's really interesting to watch. And I think that made the experience for me as a caster even more crazy. I think someone just commented it on one of my videos that I had posted, and they were like, how crazy is it that like your first land top 4 you get a mango dub?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is insane to think about, you know? It's like, oh, just so cool. Like he's you know, he's great. I love Mango. He's a great player, and like he's been doing it for a long time. So it's cool that that I got to be a part of something that I've watched for that long, and kind of admired, because I've been watching Melee. I mean, you got this in our first episode together, but like I've been watching Melee for a long time. As long as many of these people have been playing, I've been kind of a spectator of the esport, as it were. So it's cool to kind of like be physically in it now in some way. That's like really neat.
Even just to have a small little part for myself, it's super cool to go to an event like Pound where maybe a lot of people are complaining, but it's my first major. It's my first time to be able to see Mango in a room or Zane in a room and just go, well, I'm not going to crowd or anything, but that person is right there. I've only been watching you for 6+ years now, that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And I won't say intensely for 6+ years. Mind you, I've just known about Zane peripherally for a while before I actually became a Melee fanatic a few years ago, but you get it. So it was very, very cool. And that's why I'm looking forward to the big house, because I didn't get to see people like you. I didn't get to see people, hopefully a lot of people from the West Coast, I mean, specifically, who will be traveling out for that event, getting to see the Midwest, of course. I'll get to see Contra at the big house. How cool is that? I always go out of my way to talk about how much I love Contra. So let's go Contra. I'm super excited to see all these people at something like the big house. So I wish I could go to more events, but that's currently my situation right now. So I wanted to throw the one Patreon question that I have for you before we start to get towards Canada and talk about Battle BC4 and GOML. I wanted to add Patreon question to the overlay. I just did the word Patreon. So this is from Drew, who asks, your favorite Mario player, or are you the best Mario player? So that kind of a theme. Let's talk about the Mario.
Oh yeah, I am. Hey, I'll have you know, we did a rotation of me, Vish, and Junebug, and June's been playing Doc, so his Mario's good. We were playing a Mario rotation. I was kind of fucking him up. They got a couple games. I'll give them that. They got a couple games, but in the Mario Ditto, I kind of got it. My favorite Mario player right now, I mean, nothing will really beat that very real and honest and true clip that I post of myself playing
100%.
physically with my own two hands every so often. But Totally Butts is super sick. Sozin's super sick. There's like a whole Mario Discord full of really, really good Mario mains, and I'm missing a lot of those names, but they had just made a collaborative Mario combo video. I think it's on Totally Butts' channel, and it's called like Mario is Sick Part 4 or something like that. And I'm in it, and I know Sozin's in it, Totally Butts is in it, of course, and a bunch of other really, really good Mario players. So I think Pineapple is another one I'm thinking of. There's a lot of really solid players in there. The easy answer is I love Mango's Mario, but I haven't seen it in a hot minute. And then I love June, but he doesn't play vanilla Mario. His dock is very good because he can up B cancel very consistently, and I can't. So that's why I play regular Mario. But because June has good fundamentals with Doc, and because he's obviously a very capable player in Redacted Plus, he's just a good player overall. And
that's so
Project Plus. Can I say it? Is the episode over if I say it?
I'm not canceling you for saying okay. Look. It's a Melee podcast, but I love the fan enthusiasm for all Smash games, even as they say, making their own Smash game out of it. You know, yeah. Shout outs.
It's so funny actually, because Junebug obviously is was the #1 PM player back in like 2015-ish, but like he'll tell me, he's like, yeah, when I'm on commentary it just sucks now because I'll just say other Smash games, and like most people know what I'm referring to at this point. They'll be like, yeah, it's that cool thing like a Dacus that you can do in other Smash games, and they're like, what are we really talking about here? But yeah, I think the Mario Discord's really dope, and Junebug, if he played vanilla Mario, I think I'd like it, but like he and I are so fundamentally different because like I play Rushdown, or I try to play Rushdown, and I think he's a little bit more defensive. But I like them a lot. And check out Mario is Sick on Totally Butts' channel, because there's way better people who play the character than me, even though I'm the best.
Yes, even though you put out the sickest Twitter clips, to your point. And this will be this video. I'll find it and it'll be in the link of the podcast episode, so you'll be able to view it at home. So now let's start to get into Battle of BC4. So now, okay, for those who are just joining us, hello stream. This is a pre-recorded segment with turndownforwalt and Cypher003, or just Cypher, you get it. But hello all, we're here to talk about a lot of cool stuff related to GMO, including Battle of BC4, Gallant Gaming's first big IRL event back since the start of the pandemic. And turndownforwalt, you had a big part in Battle of BC4. So let's go. And this is in the beginning of June, so we're going back a little ways. I don't want to try to trivia you out of your mind with, hey, what do you remember from this day? What do you remember from that day? But I just want to hear your perspective about how you had been commentating in a lot of the Gallant Melee Opens, the GMO tournaments, the online events leading up to Battle BC4 with Radar. And from the Mix Up podcast, shout outs, and the previous commentary blocks that you and Radar have done, it's very apparent that you two have pretty good chemistry with each other, you know, at the very least, if not excellent chemistry. So I love how you all were able to get into Battle BC4 to commentate top 8. You'd commentated the first half of top 8. So I'm interested in hearing from you not like the whole this led to this arc, but I am interested in hearing a little bit of just how that all came to be and like your favorite steps of the way getting there, however you want to do it, Walt.
Yeah, I think well, huge shout outs to Deer first and foremost. I mean, he is just an incredible human being, and he deserves all the praise in the world for, you know, putting on, whether it's a GMO or an in-person event like Battle of BC. He's a lovely person. I love hanging out with him. And I got to meet him in person, actually, for the first time at Battle of BC, which was really, really great. He was just super accommodating and easy to work with, and happy to work for him again because he runs a good show for sure. But yeah, I think working towards a LAN event was definitely a big goal of mine. And like we had gotten there with Genesis, got a few commentary blocks. Riptide, I got to cast Rivals of Ether, so that was a fun time. But I think like that was top 8s were definitely kind of like a stretch goal of sorts to get there. And in my case in particular, being able to work online events as often as I could was really good, just given my working situation, because it was pretty hard for me to travel at the time, and obviously for everyone else in the world to travel at the time.
Yes, of course.
So being able to do online events was kind of a very good way of building up, not necessarily a resume, but of course it does help to have the experience and kind of like get your visibility out there. But I guess more so the comfort on the mic to be able to just be like, yeah, I've been here before, I can do this again. And it is crazy how true it is that casting in person is way easier than casting online. And I guess because like, and I like, you know, as a very, very, very long backstory for me, I had casted tournaments back in like 2015. And again, like I said in our first episode together many years ago, no one knew that I had a different tag. I casted and streamed what is known as the worst tournament in South Carolina, which is called Olympus. There is a whole documentary by Slap Shoes, the NASCAR YouTuber, who happened to actually be at that tournament back in 2015, which is just bizarre to think about. But I had some experience doing commentary because I commentated that entire tournament, which was like an 18-hour day straight. I did every single set of the entire tournament, or probably like 80% of that tournament. But I guess like my first true experience doing online events was good because I was able to kind of like work with Radar and like develop that rapport with him. And now like he and I are really close, and I would say like a very, very good friend of mine in the community. Bummer I couldn't go to his wedding. I wish I could have made it. But
congrats Radar.
Also for getting married. But I think like being able to build that synergy online was a really interesting dynamic because I remember it was like Ginger who had tweeted when Radar and I started to become like, I don't know, static for lack of a better word for the
Mm-hmm.
online era.
A little bit of a
And
thing, yeah.
yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
Ginger would tweet and say like, hey, like, Radar and Turn Down for Walt, like, you're doing really, really good at commentary, and it's crazy because it's so much easier to cast in person than it is online. Like, it's actually so difficult to be as synergistic as you are online. And I was like, huh, I guess this is kind of like all we know. So we're just kind of used to it at this point. But, then we go into Vancouver for Battle of BC and we do it in person and we're like, holy crap, this is crazy. I can look at you now and know that you're about to say something. Or, like we can talk beforehand, like in person, we can interview the players right beforehand. Like there are just so many advantages to being in person. So speaking specifically on Battle of BC4, going into that event, it was just a treat to be able to go there. And for me specifically, that was my first time in Canada ever. So I was able to kind of like see international areas, and that was really fun. And then I just got to see some cool melee, so it was really really cool. The event and production was just a treat as always. They're all just so great, and I love working with them. So it was a really really amazing experience to be at. And then shortly after was Gommel, so it was very like back to back, and things rolled into each other really really fast, and here we are.
And I'm interested in hearing about the Gommel experience as well. It was awesome to have not just one, but two really high profile majors for the Canadian region, and one being in Vancouver, that's West Coast more or less, and out in Toronto for Gommel, you get the East Coast flair as well. But I think that Canada more or less showed up in full force to both events, with variances in between for sure. But it was really cool just because you don't often get to see players like Sunsei and Moki who have certain travel limitations, that sort of things. And I guess we get to see none. But going down the list at Battle BC 4, that's where I saw Elliot play for the first time. And I've heard about Elliot before, but I don't usually get to see Elliot play because I'm not able to catch a lot of those events happening live. You get it. So for the big events, you get to see players like that show up and show out. And then over at Gommel, they were doing all kinds of fun things too. They were taking advantage of this party boat after the tournament was over. I heard a few stories from other people who were there, that kind of thing. Super fun. I was not there at either event, so I'm a little sad, but that's what I get for having other things outside of being fanatically obsessed with Melee. So Walt, for you, what was some highlights or favorite moments from Gommel and being in Toronto, Canada?
From Gommel, Joe is just a homie. Again, I sung the praises of Deer, so now I'll sing the praises of T.O. Joe.
T.O. Joe.
Yeah, just super cool guy. Again, like runs a really really solid show and kind of like knows what he wants out of production. Um, it was a stressful weekend for sure. My flight got delayed 4 hours. And then my checked bag was delayed by an hour as well. So by the time I got all of my stuff into Toronto, and I got my Uber, cruise that I was scheduled to cast with Radar.
No.
And then we got that fun IBDW Moki clip at the end.
Yes. You were missing part of the Worlds versus USA crew battle. Oh my gosh.
So I barely made it in time. So I walk in and I'm texting the commentary coordinator. His name's escaping me right now, and I apologize for that. But I text him. I'm like, it's gonna be close. I was like, but I'm gonna fucking do this block because like I didn't fly here for nothing. So I get in and I'm like, do I have time to go to my room and shower? And he's like, no. And I was like, fuck it. All right. So I go straight to the venue with all of my suitcases and all of my camera gear. I throw it backstage. I say hi to Joe, meeting him for the first time ever. And I'm like, all right, I gotta go commentate. But it turned out to be like a really, really fun event. And I think, again, like I know a lot of this is coming from the perspective of like my experience as a caster at these events, because it's kind of new grounds for me personally.
Yeah.
As a caster, I think Gommel was a lot of fun because every event that I've gone to so far, and when I complete like whether it's like a top cut of commentary, so the 2 top 8s here or the top 4 at SSC, I walk away from those commentary blocks feeling like that was the best block me and my co-caster have ever done, which is really empowering and really fulfilling, and it just is great to think about. Damn, like we can keep going up and we can keep kind of like shattering the ceiling of like skill in this craft that we're kind of building and creating for ourselves here. So that in itself made the trip very, very fulfilling. GOML as a whole for a tournament is just again, like as someone who's been a spectator for as long as I have been, getting to watch, all of the Gommels Blur saying Happy July 4th when Mango won that one time. I remember all of the clips, right? But then you get to kind of be a part of it, and it really changes your perspective on it a lot, and kind of makes you appreciate the community and the members of the community that make all of these things happen. A lot of time on shoestring budgets, but again, not going to get into that shit. But they make things kind of produce out of nothing, and it's incredible to see. Like, I'm just so flabbergasted by how insane these tournaments and these build outs and these venues are every single time I get to go, and being able to like lend my voice into that now really adds like another layer of appreciation. So it's sick to be able to go to these tournaments and kind of talk into a microphone about how much we love video games.
Live content programming for Battle BC4 or the USA versus Worlds crew battle at GOML. You have these two really big events, and shout outs to other people who are actually running like the locals and making things happen on a regular basis. But when Canada gets to show off the best of the best, really come through. So big shout outs to Tiojo, big shout outs to Deer, and I think that crew battle in particular, which I got to see most of the way through. I think I got in about a quarter of the way. I missed like the first couple of players on each team, and I was going like, I'm an idiot. But with crews, it can be a wash sometimes, where one team has a clear advantage over the other, and it is what it is. They finish with a couple of players in the pocket still, and they go, all right, we're just built different. But that went down to last stock, and including, I believe, a 3-stock comeback on IBDW's part. And it was right. Okay, I know that this is a little crazy, but it reminded me of the good ending. Not that I'm a super big USA and nobody else fan, but when it's the Olympics, and when the Olympics were in Canada, and it was USA versus Canada for the gold medal, I remember very clearly that game going to overtime and Sidney Crosby winning the game for Canada, and it was overtime, and I remember being so annoyed because I thought, oh, we were this close, and I was a hockey fan for 3 weeks afterwards, and then I flamed out. But I'm a Melee fan first, so watching this event, I was going, oh, Moki's gonna win it for Canada, that's really, really cool. But as soon as IBDW won it for USA, I was like, well, actually, I think I like this better. And it reminded me of when we lost that Olympic game. This was like 10 plus years ago when the Olympics were in Canada, and when I thought of it, I went, wow, that's such a weird connection to make. Why is my brain like this? But it was still probably one of the better, if not the best, modern crew battle that we've seen like in the past 5 years. Easy.
Yeah,
great crew battle. I would love to see that again next year.
I literally think that it's the best crew battle of the last decade. And part of that is because like crew battles as a format weren't pushed super hard at a lot of tournaments of kind of like the middle 2010s and stuff like that. But yeah, that event was so crazy. And then you think about like the context and the storylines, like you're saying, from like, like the Olympics, USA versus Canada, 4th of July weekend, and on Canada Day.
I totally forgot about that.
That's insane, dude. It's like,
that's awesome.
That's actually so insane. And it's funny that you said like you thought this was one that was rather even, because I think after, at least for me, and I know me and Radar do this a good bit too, is after like we'll finish blocks together, we kind of like icebox it a little bit, and we'll talk about like, hey, what were things that you immediately noticed and kind of like stuck in your mind from that block that we can kind of like improve on or do whatever. And one of the things that I noticed from the crew battle in particular, which I don't think many people pointed out, was I thought we were super biased the entire time because it was very close the entire time. But me and Radar kept saying, like, there is no way this is close. USA should, in theory, completely wash Canada. Not like completely wash, but like you just look at like the depth that USA had, and we were like, this team is wild. I don't see how USA loses this. And then it went down to stock 40 against stock 40 at the very end. And I'm sitting there, we're completing the final stock, and I'm like, damn, we really sat here in between every single game going like, I don't see how USA loses, or like Canada's at such an immense deficit right now, even though like they're down 2 stocks and like Ellie or whoever who was it, Zuppy got 7 stocks or something crazy. He had this insane performance.
Great performance.
Yeah, just like it's just funny. So I love that crew battle. I wish more people could do crew battles. It is a logistical nightmare from a tournament perspective to be able to organize that many people.
Yeah.
But if we can do it, I mean, the people really love watching it. I know I love watching it. I think it's a dope format.
I mean, crews can just be they're obviously great times for it to be region versus region when you're talking about getting the top 10 level, the top 20 level players all together at a big event like GOML. It is challenging. So maybe GOML is the unofficial cruise when you're doing the USA versus World concept. Maybe that's where it gets serious, and we'll get to see at least one great crew battle a year. Obviously, it'd be cool to see more, but then, yeah, I'm the kind of person who loves watching Melee in a lot of different contexts, but there's other people who like watching it a little bit less, and then they might watch maybe 3 or 4 top 8s a year, and so they won't really want to do much more than that, and it's a shame. But for those of all of us here in the chat, you're watching this event because you're super into Melee, so y'all are real ones for joining in on this discussion. Now, I wanted to introduce this game that I have for you to close this out. And future Jesse, I am sorry, but you're gonna have to edit in music because I did not feel like doing that, juggling that and the text overlay. So thank you, future Jesse. But we have trivia related to all the Gallant Melee Opens, all 5 of those, plus Battle of BC4. Now, this is going to be you versus the game. You could say you versus the house or you versus me for trivia, where if you get 3 questions right first, it's the best 3 out of 5, right? If you get 3, then you win, and therefore I will make yet another purchase. Look, we have turned down for Walt.
You can't do that to me.
We also have, look, 20th anniversary.
Let's go.
This can all be found on turndownforwalt.com, and this is where I'm going to have to go if you get 3 questions right first, or if you get 3 questions wrong, then, well, you don't have to do anything for me. You could just sit there and be embarrassed that you don't have the memory of a computer.
I actually probably won't win. I do want to say, actually, because I didn't expect you to put these stakes on this game. The URL for turndownforwalt.com may not be active by the time you try to buy something.
Oh no! No.
I'll do it for you, Cypher. But this is a soft announcement that the website is actually getting a bit of a facelift, and I will be announcing that hopefully this week before GMO. But I don't know if it will be ready yet. So for anyone who's listening to this, the website may or may not be revamped, and there may or may not be new products on there, and I may or may not be announcing something really cool that's merch related in the next week or so, and it's totally not related to Shine. So there's some cool things happening. But again, I don't want to throw a monkey wrench into your stakes, but if I win, you don't have to buy anything because the store might be dead right now.
Okay, well, how about this? Patreon.com/turndownforwalt is another way where financial support can be given to Walt, one of our favorite people in the Melee community, and for being so kind to join me in this game in a very impromptu stakes. I thought it would be fun to put stakes on this trivia night.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Let's go.
Virtual handshake, and actually, I'm not subscribed to you on Patreon, so I'll sub to you.
No
when I lose.
freaking way. You are not gonna do. These questions are not that tough, but still, this. I did not dig super deep. Okay, these questions again are about all the GMOs and Battle BC4. It unfortunately does not include anything from GOML, but I thought you had a hand in all of these events in some way or other, so maybe you'll remember some of these occurrences or trivia related things to these online events and to Battle BC4. So the first question that I have for you, Walt, is at the Gallant Melee Open Spring 2022, this was the first GMO to never merge the East and West Coast brackets. They remain separate because Deere wanted the winner from each bracket to actually be flown out to Battle BC4 and play in person, which is super cool. But I'm not asking that. What I'm saying is that Swift beat Ben East side and Sunsei beat Kadoran on the West side. But in both of these grand finals, the same thing happened. And I'm wondering if you can catch the common occurrence between each grand finals.
Okay, Swift beat Ben, and who beat Kadoran again?
Sunsei beat Kadoran, and so, right, obviously there's not common characters or anything, but again, the same thing happened. I can't be more specific than that.
The same thing happens. Beat Ben, Sunsei beat Kadoran. And this was the most recent GMO, right? Before Battle of BC4?
That is correct.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Swift beat... And I'm not allowed to watch the set, right?
No.
It's like, okay. Oh, crap. Okay.
We'll be back in just a little bit after these messages.
Swift beat Ben, and Sunsei beat Kadoran, and a similar thing happened in both of those sets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely significant. So don't try to chase down a super far niche thing. It is...
Was there a crash?
That would be a fun answer, but that is not it. I'll give you one more guess.
Oh boy. Yeah, I actually don't know then. I got nothing.
That's okay. So there was actually a bracket reset in each grand finals.
Okay.
Yeah, so I know that's... Yeah, if I said what bracket related thing happened in each grand finals, that would have been... But I was worried that if I said that, that would just be leading the horse to the water too hard. I'm sorry.
No worries. So I'm in the game.
We're 0-1, but with, hey, a lot of great players have gone down 0-1 and have turned things around. So the new question, who has won the most Gallant Gaming events since the start of 2021? So that includes all 6 events. Who has won the most of those events?
Gallant Gaming. So Hungrybox won the first one, like the first ever one.
Yes.
But then he like didn't win a tournament for a while. I think it's Hungrybox, I'm pretty sure. But like it just sucks that he was so bad in 2020. Yeah, because I think S2J won one. I think None won one. Or maybe got second at one. I think it's Hungrybox.
Yes, it is. Hungrybox has won 3 GMO events.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, hey, we're 1-1.
He only won half?
Well,
that 2020, man. Come on.
You're just being super hard on Hungrybox for not playing super consistently, but shows out for Gallant Melee Open events. So let's go.
He does.
Let's go, Juan. Okay, so now we move on to question 3, the pivotal game 3, as they say. Were there more floaties or spacies at the Battle of BC for top 8 bracket? So in top 8, were there more spacies or floaties?
Battle of BC 4?
Yes.
Do you count Leffen as a spacey or a floaty?
That actually does not impact the final answer.
Oh, it doesn't. Okay. So who was in top 8? Leffen won. Zane got second. Amsa beat Moki. So that's Smokey got 7th. Sunsei Kadoran for 7th. feel like I gotta write this down. Shit. All right, so let's count Leffen as a spacey. So Leffen is spacey 1. Sunsei is spacey 2. Moki is spacey 3. H-Box is floaty 1. If we're counting Sheik as not, oh, well, it's spacey versus floaty, so we'll count Sheik as floaty then. So J-Mook's floaty 2, Zane's floaty-ish 3, Amsa is Yoshi. I don't know where he factors in.
Factor as a floaty.
Okay.
I'm not gonna entertain Twitch chat comments on that, by the way.
Yeah, because there were only 3 foxes. Leffen, Sunsei, and Moki, who got 7th, 7th, and 1st. So, and then the rest are 2 Marths, a Yoshi, a Sheik, and a Puff. That's 8. I counted right. I'm an engineer. Yeah, it's floaties.
That is correct. More floaties in the top 8 of Battle BC4. So winning the pivotal game 3, and now we move on to game 4, possibly the last question of the night, which is a real shame because I feel like when I spend time doing anything, I don't like it to be wasted. But then I'll spend an hour on Twitter just scrolling mindlessly.
Do you want me to throw? So we can get this question?
Don't throw. Okay. Of the 6 possible events, so again, all 5 GMOs in Battle BC4, which one drew the most total entrants?
Total entrants. I have a gut guess for this, and I'm just gonna send it because I truly don't know what the answer would be otherwise. I'm gonna say GMO Summer. What was it? GMO Summer 2021.
So I was definitely being a little bit mean to you here. When I said total entrants, I was counting Ultimate as well. So Battle BC4. Okay. Okay, but you're right in saying that one of the it was actually the very first Gallant Melee Open that had the most total melee entrants. You're right, over 300 entrants, nearly 400 actually. So
really?
yeah, obviously really, really cool. All the GMOs get strong numbers, but the first one got the most, and yes, has the most melee entrants, more than Battle BC4 melee entrants. But when I said total entrants, I was wondering if you would catch that.
You cheeky little bastard. Yeah, my gut was thinking Summer just because Vancity had those super sick skins for the entire stream, and I thought that was like a really big draw for people to enter, because I mean, from a spectator perspective, it was really sick to see that.
Super awesome. And so now this is game 5.
Okay.
I mean, I definitely counterpicked to a really bad stage for you, but you have home field, I guess. You're counterpicking now to a stage that you like. And the last question is, has any player appeared in every single top 8 of these 6 events? Yes or no?
Every top 8. So there's 6 GMOs, right? So you're asking if there's
5 GMOs and Battle BC4.
Okay, so that's counting towards this too. Okay.
Yep.
So the only one I can think of would be Hungrybox then, because I don't think Zane entered GMOs. He definitely wasn't at Summer. And then none didn't make top 8 in Battle of BC. Amsa's in Japan, so that's a no.
Yeah. Very much in Japan.
Has made top 8s in GMOs and Battle of BC. Sunsei has missed top 8s of GMOs. Moki has missed top 8s of GMOs. I don't know if that's because he wasn't attending them. And then J-Mook miraculously got good out of nowhere with no prior precedent. So
just appeared
he was
at
just
Genesis 8.
as a
literally just and all of a sudden is finishing at second.
Every top 8. Yeah, I think the answer is yes, and I think it's Hungrybox who is the player. I know that wasn't part of the answer, but if it's not H-Box, then it's because he missed it at one of the random GMOs. But I think he's made top 8 at every single one, and then lost because he lost to S2J at that one. Yeah, I think he did make top 8 at all of them. I'll lock it in. Let's say yes.
We are locking in Hungrybox, aka yes, that every top 8 was appeared for one player at the very least, but the answer is actually no, because Two Saint actually beat Hungrybox in the Puff Ditto for a top 8.
I casted that set. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. Fuck. Sorry, I shouldn't swear on this episode. Oh my god. I literally know it because I posted an Instagram reel of that set and I casted it with Zoo. I remember exactly what you're talking about. And they go on like a rest train on each other. And it was it was the sickest thing. Oh my god, he missed top 8 because of that?
Yes, that was qualifier to make loser side top 8. But actually,
which GMO was that?
I'm not remembering off the top of my head. But the other thing is that Hungrybox was not at the most recent GMO, the spring one of this year of 2022.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Huh.
But I think entered every other one, missed it legitimately once because of the Two Saint deal. But Hungrybox and Aklo are actually tied at 4 apiece, 4 appearances in top 8s out of all this apiece. But Aklo sadly did not go to Battle BC4 and then is busy, I think, medical school, I want to say. Something related to being a Dr. Aklo. I'm not sure, actually, so don't quote me on that. Twitch chat, always happy to correct me, so I appreciate y'all for doing that. If indeed I need correction. I could just be right the whole time too. But either way, an exhilarating, it was so hard to keep a straight face. You played very well, very admirably. And I was going to say this in either instance. You are not actually held to it. I just wanted to lay down some stakes. If you sub to patreon.com/bsmpod, if you do that, that is cool. But either way, I'm super happy that you took it all the way and made it very entertaining for all of us here on the stream at the GMO content night. Walt, thank you so much for playing and being game to do that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and I'm subscribing to you right now. So
bless up. Thank you so much. And to all of you on stream, whether this is going to chain into another content piece, which most assuredly it has to be. How wild would... No, we have all kinds of cool content pieces for y'all this evening that have either happened or are going to be coming up. So please stay tuned for that. We're just going to do shout out. I need to put this on the overlay. Shout outs to Deer. Shout outs to Deer for running yet another GMO and continuing to say, hey, our online event is somehow not just going to be on a random evening. We're going to make it a multi-day thing, and we're going to have multiverses at this event. Walt, will you be in the multiverses bracket?
I may be casting it, but I don't know if I should, because I'm definitely not experienced in watching the game that much yet.
Is Zetterburn in there? Because you know all about Zetterburn.
I can tell you about Zetterburn. I got a lot of experience with that guy.
Of course.
Shout outs to Dan Furness. But yeah, I told Deer that I'd be interested in doing multiverses potentially, but I might have to back out of that one until I kind of get a little bit more chops there and feel comfortable talking intelligently about that game. But yeah, maybe we'll see. And this is kind of set in the future in some way though too, so like some of it might have happened already by the time people see this.
Indeed. So we're all looking forward to seeing whether or not Walt commentates multiverses, and it does an excellent job anyway. But either way, thank you all so much for joining us, and stay tuned for more. And now that we're done with that particular piece, back to the podcast mode, I don't have a whole lot to circle back to other than just, again, thank you. Very nice of you to be game to... I wanted to tell you the stakes before we started recording, but I got thrown off by the camera stuff, so I totally forgot to mention it. That's my bad.
Yeah, you're totally fine. I always love a good little wager for all this stuff. The questions were really good, actually. I really liked it a lot.
All right, excellent. That's good to hear. So I really only did get one Patreon question. Did anybody sneak anything last minute? No. Well, that's okay. Damn. So let's see. I want to end this with just saying a personal thank you from me to you for continuing to be a super cool person when we interact, sparingly, because again, I'm just posting on the Discord, whatever's coming to mind. I love being present there, but I would say you're the person who I look to a lot for making steps forward. You're not the person who I envision myself being in 5 years or anything. You're just the person who I say, Walt came from the same spot that I did a long time ago. So in order for me to be able to do anything besides host a humble podcast that is nearly at episode 200, so I will rest my laurels on that. But other than that, if it's going to be anything else, it takes a lot of hard work. It takes showing up and being there, which is something that I know I'm not super great at doing because of my family and job. But I know a little bit more of what that process is like just by watching you, because I get to be close enough is the wrong way to describe it. It's basically just that you leave a really nice footprint of this is what it takes. Not that you're trying to lecture anybody or overblog or overvlog yourself, but you're that North Star of growing things for yourself, I guess is the best way to put it.
Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate that a lot. That's very, 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 very kind. So, and I try. I'll keep trying, and I'm going to keep working hard. And you're doing a lot of really good work too. Almost at episode 200 is incredible to think about. So, congrats to you for being as consistent as you are. Far more consistent than what the mix-up could ever be. So that's where I'll rest my laurels at least.
The
and
triumphant return.
Yeah, we can only hope to reach your level of consistency when it comes to that, because we're a once a quarter kind of podcast when we do it. But
just imagine 200 episodes of a podcast with with more effort though, because that's what the mix up is to me. It's y'all scheduling together not just one guest but like 3 guests and just talking with Blur, which I'm mostly memeing. Obviously Blur is a great person, person to have on any podcast. Blur's like the best podcast guest probably ever. I don't need to necessarily have him hear me say that, but that's just the person who throws out everything. Blur will throw it out and it'll stick. I listen to myself podcasts and I sound so hesitant, and maybe it's because I want to make sure that you, the guest, feel comfortable and that I don't talk like this all the time and I'm in a podcaster mode. I'm throwing out hot takes, but it's really nice to hear somebody else do it. Blur's a good person to hear do that. But you and Radar, of course, super great with the mix-up. When the episodes come out, I'm always super happy to listen along. For everybody who was hearing a little bit about the whole turndownforwalt.com website revamp, this episode will air after GMO, the Saturday after or the Monday after, that kind of a thing. So by this time, if the website is not completely revamped, stay tuned. Follow at turndownforwalt on Twitter, because that's where you're going to get all these big updates about what's happening in the near future with the website. So we're all super excited for that.
Oh wait, this episode's gonna go up during Shine on the 27th? Maybe?
No. So when I say this
upcoming Saturday.
Right.
Okay. So I was just gonna tell you everything here, but now I can't.
No, you can't. That's the whole thing that we're saying. Stay tuned. Follow Walt on Twitter. Go to the YouTube and subscribe. Congratulations again for hitting 50K at long last. That was a goal of yours, of course. Naturally, that was the next landmark for you, but onward and upwards to 100K. Whoop, whoop. Shout outs to Snares, all the other editors that are helping make these top 8 highlights. And I forgot the other thing that regularly comes out, the
JV5.
Not the JV5. What's the other thing? Oh no, there are other people who edit your JV5s now. Yes, that's right.
Actually, quick shout outs to all of them too, because they're really carrying my channel super hard right now. And it's kind of the way that I had envisioned the channel being, as kind of not like a final boss or like an end all for it, because I do want to keep like developing and growing and innovating in certain ways, especially in the melee content sphere. But the way that I kind of envisioned this channel being positioned at this point in time was to have these people kind of help me with the regular content, like the JV5 or highlight videos or kind of like player profiles or whatever they are, what have you. And then that allows me to kind of branch off and do more documentary pieces that I can kind of like devote my solo hours to, more of like the comedy driven pieces, anything that I can kind of do on the side. And then there's still things being made. So it's not like it was 2-3 years ago where it was I'll make a documentary and then I won't post for 3 months, and then I'll make another documentary and then I won't post for 3 months, and then I'll make a frame data and I won't post for 2 months. The content has been very regular, which is great. I have posted videos multiple times in a week, which I've never thought I would get back to that point in my life. So that's really cool to be able to get there. And then the quality is still just as high as ever. So huge shout outs, of course, to I guess like the Turn Down for Walt staff, for lack of a better word, or people who are collaborating with me. Collaborators is probably a friendlier term for that. But just they're all really great, and I love the effort that they put in, and they really care about kind of the art that we're creating. So I know we got Hank, who's a huge writer. He's kind of the lead writer more or less for the JV5 now. Connor CDK, old school Melee player. He was heading up editing for JV5 for a long time, but in the meantime we do have SSB Scry, who used to be Mango's editor, Blippy Jacob, who edited for Atrioc.
Nice.
Oh gosh, who else do we have here? I gotta look through my list. Snares, of course. We have Asigi P and Mario and Shane, who are kind of the trio of writers plus editors who are doing the preview videos now for tournaments. Kind of what to expect out of these brackets that we're going to be getting from upcoming majors. I am certainly missing other people here. I have to check this now because I'm going to be really upset if I miss someone. But yeah, the whole staff is just excellent. They're really great people. I've had Paula from PG Stats help with some thumbnails and whatnot. She does a lot of the SEO on our side as well. And then and Cornflake as well. He's done a few. That's the one I was forgetting.
Oh yeah, Cornflake. Let's go.
And by the time this episode does come out, since you said it is Saturday, I can say shout outs to Kells from Team Boxer, who I would like to be the kind of lead editor of sorts for Frame Data. We're going to be bringing that series back, and that is actually premiering his first episode in collaboration with me on GMO Content Day this Friday. So it will already be out by the time that your episode and podcast releases, so I can talk about that. And Kells is a awesome visual genius. So I'm super impressed, and I'm so excited to show the like newly revamped Frame Data because the visuals look incredible. I posted a teaser of it on Twitter, and it's just like unreal. He's so talented. Everyone who's done videos is just an insanely immense talent overall. But I'm excited to show off Kells a little bit because this is his kind of like debut of sorts on my channel. So
that's awesome. Shout outs to Kells. I'm excited to see that. And then it was actually the Gallant Melee Open spring of 2021 where it was in top 16. I just sent you the Start GG link where, yes, Toussaint beats Hungry Bucks. So make top 8. That's crazy.
Why you gotta be like that?
Why does Toussaint gotta be so good? They're so good.
I literally casted that set, so.
But it feels like a top 8 set. It feels like it was a really good.
It does.
It was really fun.
It does feel like that.
It was fun. It was fun. Oh, I guess I did want to ask you, like, I love because this is still ongoing, but you have definitely turned not from away from YouTube, not at all, but you've definitely prioritized commentary at the events that you're going to, and not to say that you are ignoring content otherwise, but you've definitely taken a shift in what you do and how you express yourself within the Melee scene. And I am curious about if it was because you started casting again and you really enjoyed it and were just riding the train of saying, hey, this is really enjoyable. Because one of the reasons why you stick around with Melee in the first place is because you've said this before, Melee just gets you, it hooks you, just like it hooks me and everybody else that is just strangely doing a lot of this somewhat loosely speaking for either for free or low pay, or you get it. We're just out here spending hours and hours on it, and it's super fun. But would it be in that line of thinking where it's, I'm really enjoying commentary, I'm just going to keep doing it, and now you get to commentate top 4 events? Or is it because of like a more deliberate step in that direction and saying, this is how Walt becomes a household name, which is very fair as well. I'm just curious what the shift was or the motivator behind it.
Yeah, I think I always wanted to be more public facing with the community. I think kind of very early stages of my YouTube had started off with I did montages and combo videos,
Mm-hmm.
which, they were fun to do, but granted didn't really kind of show the core personality that I had as a person or as a human. So then I incorporated voiceovers, I incorporated more analytical things and kind of showed off in a way that I have knowledge about this game. I have a very deep appreciation for this game, and I want to be able to show that through my content. I feel like commentary was kind of a logical step in being able to continue to be public facing, and kind of get my personality out there in a way. It's funny that you bring up that question as well because I'm editing. Before we had started this recording, I told you I'm editing a quick teaser for an upcoming event, and one of the clips, and I actually used this in my Abate versus S2J video, was Abate saying, the fun thing about Melee is that there's always surprises. And I think the way that I see commentary and playing Melee for that matter is that no two situations are unique. You will always go into a tournament, a different event, a different bracket, a different set that you're casting, playing, watching over someone's shoulder, asking someone next to you by the setup, what's the set count kind of thing. It will never be exactly the same as it was before. And that's what makes the game so enthralling. And that's what makes you get hooked into the game because it's like, it's not formulaic. You're going to get different things every single time, and that uniqueness is what makes you want to keep coming back because there are so many different things that you can see, here, talk about, experience that get you really interested and get you wanting to stick around for more. Doing commentary has kind of unlocked that more in me because I don't really play too much, but I can watch a lot, and it will be able to give me more of like a unique experience of I haven't seen this before, or this is a brand new matchup that I've never gotten to talk about before, or this is a brand new tournament run, or oh my god, J-Mook's getting second place at Genesis, something like that, like it's just something that is so new and fresh every single time. And I truly feel like in the context of commentary, the game will never get old to me because I'll always enjoy watching it and I'll always have a fondness to the game when I'm looking at it through this lens. That's not to say that I don't want to do content at events or shoot videos, and I still do my stuff with Panda, and I'll still bring my camera and gear and things like that. But I would say I can point my camera at someone and I can get a similar angled shot. And then there's a lot of sameness to that from event to event.
Mm-hmm.
And you can, of course, spice that up a bit and, introduce other elements. And it kind of comes out in the edit a little bit too, where you kind of differentiate that stuff. But there really is nothing that I can describe that is quite like the variety that I've been feeling in commentary. And it really helps to kind of, I guess, increase or enhance that love for the game that I have that much more.
Who doesn't love the idea of being able to talk about Melee as it's happening, and also you get to do it with an audience in hand? Now, the worst kind of audience that just gives horrendous feedback sometimes, but that's why we put down Twitch chat, baby. Let's go, Walt. So I've been loving your commentary. So the question is more out of curiosity. It is not a secret way of me saying you're not doing enough stuff with your channel, Walt. You're doing plenty, and facilitating takes a lot more work than some people are willing to admit. Okay, for those of you out there who think that it's easy to just tell editors to make videos, it's a lot harder than you think, because I can't do it.
It's tough, man. And as an add-on to the commentary thing as well, even though we're looking at a game that we love, but you get to, because Melee intrinsically you're doing casts with a duo partner a lot of times, you're doing it with someone you're friends with, which is really cool. It's the same way that like people say, oh, like playing doubles in Melee is like you're winning with your homie. Like that feels so good. You are like, I would like to say that I'm pretty close friends with Radar and Vish and all of the other co-casters I've worked with at this point. I am very, very fond of the talent and ability that all of those people have. And it inspires me to work harder because I can kind of see the ability and talents that they do have, and maybe things that they are much better at than I don't have. And it kind of allows me to reflect after all these things and say like, hey, well, Radar's doing this really well, and I'm not really incorporating this into my game plan. So let's throw this in here and see if I can kind of improve holistically as a result. It's really cool, and I know Vish just posted his kind of like SSC thank you yesterday, like literally 8 minutes before I posted mine. We have like all the same pictures, but he said at the end of his post, like, I don't think I'll ever get tired of this game, and I can totally 1000% relate to that, especially now that I've kind of like gotten my feet wet sufficiently with commentary.
I love hearing that, because the more people that we have like you and Vish in the Melee community, it makes us all that much better. So big shout outs to you, big shout outs to Vish for the top 4 commentary that we all got to enjoy at SmashCon. Like I said, my brother and I were just guffawing at when you were pulling out a lot in the driver's seat right now. Well, that could change. Like, this isn't Mario Kart. Like, that's a low-key one that will not get as much love in the future as your thou shalt not sleep on the kid. But Blake and I really enjoyed that line. We were just like, what? What? I love that those little things. So
I do want to say I was saving. I wanted to save "Don't Call It a Comeback." He's been here for years for grand finals, but I was so afraid Mango was going to lose, so I was like, I had that one in the bank for a Mango set, but I was like, oh my god, what if he loses and then I don't get the chance to say it, and then I never commentate a Mango set again, and then everything's over and I get canceled on Twitter and like no one wants to talk to me anymore, and it's just the scariest thing ever. So I just fired it off for the LOD one and then came up with that other one for grand finals. So
both really fun. Yeah, I thought that I wouldn't have guessed that you were afraid of Mango losing grand finals by saying don't call it a comeback, but I was like, Mango hasn't won the tournament yet. I was like, you know what, Mango's probably going to win the tournament. But then I thought about Pound 2019. I was like, oh no, Mango might not win the tournament. Oh no. Oh wait, Dawson's at the event. He's probably practicing with Dawson.
True.
Really important. As long as somebody like Dawson is at an event that Mango's playing Hungrybox, that's the important thing. Or Mango being willing to fire more lasers, all that fun stuff. All right,
yeah.
So let's go ahead and close up. I have told the people where to find you, but I'll let you outro yourself, and any final shout outs and thoughts that you have, please take us into that sunset, Walt.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, man. It is a pleasure, a long-awaited
return
treat to be able to talk to you again after well, we talk a lot actually, but talk to you formally on the podcast after what feels like an eternity, man. So you're doing great, you're killing it, and again, huge shout outs to you and the work that you do, because that should not be understated as well. I mean, you do a really cool thing, and it's awesome that you are able to like give a voice to all these people in the community through this. So thank you. My name is turndownforwalt. I am available on different social media platforms, as it were. Right now, it's the push for 100K on YouTube. That's the big goal. But I'm around on everything. turndownforwalt on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Although I don't really stream all too often. turndownforwalt official, because some cheeky little bastard wanted to take turndownforwalt from me on Instagram and TikTok. So that's where we're at right now. But it's all linked in the YouTube. And then turndownforwalt.com will be available eventually as a website again. And I'll have some really cool merch designs available. Working with an insane designer. I can give him a shout out. His name is Shane. Status Quo is his tag.
Nice.
New York legend. He made a lot of merch for the nightclub as well. So he's insane. Just so talented. So I love being able to support him in that way as well. Shout outs to, again, all the talent that has kind of come aboard to help me push out content as rapidly and of high quality as it is. Again, legitimately carrying the channel right now, because I would be so irrelevant without them. but they're doing so good, and I love them a lot, and they're great, and I love working with them. Shout outs to Panda for supporting me and giving a content creator some help in that way. That's really cool. And shout outs to everyone who again appreciates Melee, because the fun thing about it is there's always surprises, and it's fun to be able to experience that with your homies and with your friends, and by going to events and hanging out with Duran at Pound 2022.
Woo!
So yeah, just everyone's so cool, and it's great to be able to share these friendships and experiences and memories that are unique every single time you go. So it's always a fun time, and go to a freaking tournament. It's awesome.
Absolutely. Catch me and Walt at the Big House, for example. I'll finally get to see you in person. Resist the urge to like touch your beard. I'm normally very good at not touching anybody's beard. I'm not gonna do that to Wisely or anybody else, but the beard is beautiful. It's what I aspire and fail to be. And you can catch both of us there at an event like the Big House, or if you go to a local, support your locals. If you're going to another big tournament, say hi to people around you. You'll find that a lot of Melee players are super homies. So ask for friendlies. Ask everybody, hey, is this tournament? Or say, hey, Dubs, just go for it. Let somebody correct you and then say, hey, I'll take you under my wing. And now you have a friend. So looking forward to seeing the rest of the tournaments this year that you're casting, Walt. And thank you so much for joining me on Bottom of the Smash Mountain.
Thank you very much.